manufacturing, whether it be in the IT, whether it be in health, the private sector is excelling. And private sector is contributing to the economy of this country. And in this panel, as well as in all the discussions which we are going to have, we are trying to highlight, we are trying to find out why the private sector is not, why the private sector is having some sort of a taboo in education and knowledge development. Why there is some sort of a liaison between the so-called policy makers, the government, whether it be state government or central government, and the private providers of education. Even in the so-called public universities in the developed countries, the private sector is the major contributor in education. It is not just for providing some basic first degrees in education. If you just look at the knowledge creation and research contribution at the top universities in the world, you can see that the major funding of fundamental research in medicine, fundamental research in maybe quantum mechanics, fundamental research in theoretical sciences, they are sponsored by private sector, big industries. If you just look at the major fellowships, which many of you, or probably many of your children, some of the major scholarships name, you can see that they are all provided by big industrialists in public universities. So, if you just look at the collegiate education in this country, numbers, if you just look at the total numbers, they are providing education, they are providing quality education within the constraints of the system. Why quality is not there in some institutions? These are all the issues which we have to consider. I had occasion to interact with maybe almost all of them. I had been to Dr. Vishwanathan's institution, I don't know, several years ago. Twice I have visited Amity, APJ group, and of course all after my joining Indira Gandhi National Open University, probably the first thing which we thought about is just looking at the government's document on public-private participation in higher education. Some of my board members are here. Maybe they might have changed now. So when this particular document which is happening, which is very much there in the government, a policy document on public-private participation in infrastructure creation and in education is very much there. The first thing is, why should we do it? That's a question. In any public institution, why should we do it? Probably what we have to ask is, why should not we do it? We have to, yes. So we just created lot of infrastructure for, of course, for an open university system. We need lot of infrastructure from others. We created lot of infrastructure by interacting with them. So I fully agree that unless and until there is facilitation of the private sector in education, the minister also very clearly articulated today in the morning that government cannot venture, government cannot create facilities, and therefore we should definitely look at how these institutions, how these private providers who are ready to invest money in education can be brought in. It may be happening in a few institutions which are here. There could be several other examples. There would be hundreds of private colleges which are providing basic education in this country, which are totally private in nature. But unless and until we sit together and then have some sort of an interaction and then try to provide all opportunities for promoting education in the private sector, we may not be able to achieve any of the big things which we are suggesting. Promoting independent initiatives, that is the most important thing which is necessary for creating excellence in institutions. Promoting independent initiatives of the investors in education. Promoting independent initiatives of the managements. Promoting independent initiatives of definitely the faculty, the academic staff, and we should create opportunities. In all our systems, what is happening is that the system is really curbing the independent initiative of the individual, whether it be a teacher, student, manager, or investor. I think we have to allow, we have to open up, we have to allow competition, and we have to definitely avoid this artificial short supply. We have to create ample opportunities for institutions to come up, and we have to make them compete. And our youngsters, our society is really intelligent enough to understand where is quality, what is quality. Otherwise, we are leveling down. We are leveling down. We are not permitting the institutions to grow up. I think I am an incorrigible optimist. I sincerely believe that the systems will improve, good institutions will come forward, and good institutions with all, even with the, it may not be deliberate, even with the restrictions which are there, they are doing excellently well. Their students and their researchers are being appreciated all over the world, but these are all very isolated cases. What we need in this country to provide in the decade of innovation or by 2022 to provide education and skill development opportunities for 500 million youth in this country. And this is not only for India. Of course, the Honorable Minister from Jordan is here, and Bhutan. This is a problem all over the world. Many countries have probably gone through this exercise. And in this country, I stand to correction. Foreign investment in education is permitted as of now. I do not know. No, investment in education. No, the bill is separate. Starting of universities is separate, but no, not it. Indeed, it's not allowed. So, the first and foremost thing which we have to think is we have to definitely promote our own initiatives, and there should not be a differentiation between even the foreign initiatives. And only when the government creates an atmosphere for promoting the independent initiative, excellence can be expected, and we have good number of success stories. Let there be more such institutions in this country, more such interventions in this country for providing the right kind of education. I once again congratulate the organizers for this. We have a very good response from all over the country and abroad, and we sincerely believe that this particular discussion which we had today, we will carry it forward. We will also, with the limited capabilities we have for interactions and with the government, we will put forward these proposals to the government and try to create a forum for dialogue, and then sorting out many of the differences, and then try to create an atmosphere for creating a strong private sector in education in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I think before we conclude, I will just like to add something that Professor Pillai in his stint in his after he took over at the IGNOU, the amount of initiatives he has taken to collaborate with the private sector have been massive. I think the number of collaborations which IGNOU has like taken and which actually provided a channel for many of the vocational training providers and many organizations to collaborate and go tap the IGNOU energies and have a synergy with IGNOU, and that was the initiative which he took, and also the initiative like the community colleges again opened up a whole new set of. I was attending the community college session today in the morning, and I was hearing the representation from Army that how much that community college initiative from IGNOU has giving the opportunity for Army meant to have a certification of whatever they are already knowing, and they can enter the employment market after like they leave the Army. So a lot of initiatives have been happening from various arms of the government. Of course, there has to be done which is much more, and I think the whole idea about this summit and the magazine of ours, the digital learning magazine, is to bring out that public discourse on education, which is unfortunately is not well brought out in the mainstream media. It's not understood by even common man or our policy makers. Like there's much more awareness has to be done on various dimensions of the issues, and we are like looking at this that we will be able to raise these issues in our magazine and have more discussion so that more policy actions happen on it. So I think that we will conclude with this panel, and we will invite you all for a networking dinner in the evening, which will around 7:30 in the same hall, and I will invite you all to like network and meet each other and build collaborative opportunities. Thank you very much. Thank you.